You were never just a body made of moving atoms, nor merely a web of flickering neurons daring to call itself a mind. You are a song of memory that began before your first breath, a cosmic tide wearing the soft disguise of human skin. Beneath the grocery lists, the glowing screens, and the polite chatter, an elder language breathes. It is carved from starlight and carried in your pulse. Tonight, it rushes upward like long-buried spring water because the instant you pressed play, something in the universe recognized its own reflection glowing behind your eyes. You did not arrive here by coincidence. Destiny is a patient novelist, and every accident is merely one of her artful commas. You followed the breadcrumbs of peculiar hunches, the magnetic tug of déjà vu, and the ache of unasked questions until you crossed an unseen threshold and found yourself seated here, heart quietly thundering, breath strangely slow, sensing that the very air has thickened with meaning. Listen, truly listen. The silence between these syllables is alive. Within it vibrates the code that coaxes dormant DNA awake. The signal composers snatch in half-dreams. The hush monks call the original face. It is the same hush that hovered over the waters before creation dared to speak. Now it wraps you like a cloak of soft thunder, reminding you that genius is not a trophy on a distant shelf, but a lantern already blazing in your ribcage. Understand, you do not chase brilliance. You simply stop sprinting away from it. Lay down your weapons of self-doubt. Soften until your breathing becomes a circular river. Notice the subtle tremor flowering at the base of your skull. That is the door hinge. Feel the shimmer skating across your forearms. That is the door beginning to open. Will you walk through? What if genius isn't something you achieve at the mountaintop, but something that awakens as you stand still in the valley? What if insight isn't a conquest, but a homecoming? Your mind is not a storage unit, a filing cabinet, or a fortress of logic. Your mind is an instrument, vibrating, humming, sensitive to every note of the cosmos. And when it tunes to a certain frequency, it becomes a portal. Gamma waves, those rapid, almost imperceptible rhythms that dance through the brain, are not simply electrical spikes. They are the breath of the infinite. They are the whisper of divine intelligence moving through flesh. They rise in the brains of Tibetan monks immersed in loving-kindness meditation. They surge during moments of mystical union and artistic ecstasy. They flood the neural network when a great truth reveals itself all at once, without effort. You may have felt them before, in that split second when your heart caught its breath, when you suddenly understood something your mouth could not explain, or when a wave of peace enveloped you for no reason at all. That was Gamma knocking at your door. Gamma is not a mechanical switch. It is a state of sacred surrender. It cannot be dominated or tamed. You cannot arrive there by willpower alone. You must become the frequency, not imitate it, not chase it, but dissolve into it. So we begin by unraveling. Let your thoughts uncoil like threads of smoke. Let your breath fall into its original rhythm, the one it had before the world taught you fear. We are not ascending, we are descending into depth. We are not adding knowledge, we are shedding noise. We are returning to a place you've never left, but only forgotten. For Gamma does not reside in tomorrow or in the pages of a self-help book. It lives in the sacred now, in the moments between your thoughts, in the quietude behind your forehead, in the widening space behind your eyes. Let go of the idea that awakening must be difficult. Let go of the belief that genius is reserved for a chosen few. Let go of the impulse to understand everything with intellect. Instead, feel your way in. This is the gate of perception. Not a doorway in the sky, but an opening in your awareness. The handle is silence. The key is surrender. And the door, it is already ajar. Have you ever felt it? That split second when the world seems to pause, when a thought you didn't consciously create drifts into your awareness, weightless and fully formed, as though whispered into your ear by some otherworldly muse. Time folds, language dissolves, and suddenly, you just know. Not in the way you memorize facts, but in the way the ocean knows how to pull the tide. It is a knowing that comes from beyond you, and yet somehow it is you. Where do ideas come from? What dimension do dreams tap into when they hand you truths your waking mind could never have constructed? Why do moments of inspiration feel less like creation and more like remembering? The mystics called it divine communion. The poets called it the muse. The philosophers called it nous, pure intellect. The physicists call it the quantum field, but none of them own it. And all of them point to the same thing: a realm beyond reason. A place inside and outside of time where knowing and being are one. Could it be that the genius state is not about thinking harder, but thinking less? Could it be that your mind, when quiet enough, becomes transparent like glass, allowing the light of higher wisdom to pass through unfiltered? Could it be that what you seek isn't an answer, but a surrender? That the doors open not to the forceful knock, but to the presence of wonder? Let these questions breathe within you. Don't dissect them. Don't trap them in analysis. Let them echo. Let them swirl like incense smoke in a dimly lit sanctuary. Because this is not about solving the riddle. It is about becoming the space where the riddle can dance. And the moment you let go of the need to know, the moment you sit still enough for curiosity to turn inward, that's when it happens. A whisper arrives. A rhythm begins. A doorway in the mind clicks open, not with sound, but with stillness. So ask not for answers. Ask to become the invitation. The genius is not a flame you ignite. It is a fire that finds you the moment you stop running from the dark. When gamma waves begin to flow through your brain like golden threads woven through the tapestry of thought, something extraordinary begins to unfold, not just mentally, but spiritually, dimensionally, vibrationally. It is not simply a mental enhancement, it is a shift in your very being. Memory sharpens, not only for facts and faces, but for the truth your soul has carried across lifetimes. Empathy blooms, as if you suddenly remember that every stranger is a forgotten mirror. Perception widens like the aperture of a cosmic lens, and you no longer just look at the world. You feel its heartbeat, its silence, its intention. The separation between the internal and external blurs. The veil between what is seen and what is sensed begins to thin. Your thoughts slow down, yet your awareness becomes faster, clearer, more crystalline. It's like hearing music you didn't know was playing until your body begins to move with it. Gamma is the language of presence. It does not dwell in past wounds or spiral into imagined futures. It pulses in the sacred stillness of now, awake, alert, infinite. In this state, the chatter of ego dims like a candle in the morning sun. This is the realm where monks enter luminous trance and dissolve into the formless, where savants compose entire symphonies in a cascade of moments, where inventors see mechanisms and equations not as problems, but as intuitive visions arriving whole. But these beings are not superhuman. They are not other. They are not exceptions to your potential. They are examples of your remembrance. They are what happens when the internal noise quiets and the gamma signal, the pure tone of universal intelligence, is allowed to play through the instrument of the self. And here is the deepest truth. Stillness is not inactivity. It is the most powerful form of listening. Silence is not emptiness. It is the womb of the unseen. Gamma is not a reward for effort. It is a reward for resonance. It rises when your breath becomes a prayer, your gaze becomes soft, your thoughts become guests instead of rulers. It comes not because you chase it, but because you match it. You don't unlock the gamma state by adding more layers of doing. You reveal it by peeling back the noise until only essence remains. You become a channel, a tuning fork, a temple. And in that temple, your body, your mind, your heart. The divine intelligence of the universe begins to hum, and that hum, dear one, is the rhythm of genius. You have always felt it, haven't you? That subterranean tremor of recognition, the hush in your blood when you glimpse a sunset too beautiful to belong to any map. A voice inside you whispers that life is not merely happening to you, it is happening through you, as you. The buildings, the headlines, the wristwatch seconds are only the outer stitching. The real fabric is woven behind your eyes. Consider how many mornings you have awakened feeling strangely older than your years, as though you had already lived 1,000 dawns before this one. Remember the unexplainable nostalgia that sometimes washes over you in empty hallways or crowded airports, a homesickness for a place you cannot name. These are not romantic moods, they are breadcrumb memories dropped by the genius within, guiding you back to your own vastness. The genius state is not a sky-high summit fenced off for prodigies. It is the atmosphere you create when you stop shrinking to fit old stories. Every breath you take is an initiation, every heartbeat a temple gong. You need not earn this genius. You need only relax into it, the way the sea relaxes into the pull of the moon. You are not broken, you are a prism. The fractures you hide are simply places where light enters and then scatters into colors unseen by hurried eyes. You are not late, you are ripening in perfect season. Every detour you regret was a sacred spiral drawing you closer to the center. Pause now. Feel the weight of your hands, the pulse in your neck, the quiet crackle of awareness flaring behind your forehead. That tingling, that subtle spaciousness, it is the doorway awakening. The moment you sit in silence, one breath, two breaths, you become both pilgrim and shrine. The path folds into the walker, and the temple doors fling open inward. Do you see it? The genius you seek is not an external light, but an internal sunrise. It has never abandoned you, it merely waited for your gaze to turn homeward. Close your eyes and watch how the darkness inside is not empty at all, but luminous with unspoken constellations. This is you, a living portal between form and infinity, between question and answer, between breathing and being breathed. Step softly, beloved. The genius is already listening. Now, beloved, release all striving. Do not wrestle with your restless mind as though it were a wild horse to be tamed or a puzzle to be solved. The gamma waves, the subtle cosmic frequencies of genius, do not answer to force or command. Instead, they are like a whispered secret carried on a breeze, a delicate murmur waiting to be heard only by those who listen with tender presence. Genius is not a thunderous roar demanding attention. It is the quiet, sacred hum vibrating softly between your heartbeats, the space where silence sings. Draw your breath slowly, deliberately, as if each inhale were a sacred prayer breathed by the universe itself into your lungs. Feel the life pulse beneath your ribs, the ancient current flowing from seed to star, from earth to infinite sky. Notice the gentle vibration curling in your chest, a soundless lullaby both ancient and timeless, a song your soul remembers even before the first breath of your earthly journey. Let your body soften, releasing tension as you settle deeper into this present moment, the sanctuary of your own being. Close your eyes gently, not to retreat from the world, but to unveil the invisible realm shimmering behind your eyelids. Let the darkness cradle you like a mother's loving embrace, a velvet cocoon woven from cosmic light and shadow. Here, in this sacred silence, the boundaries between self and universe dissolve, revealing that you and the cosmos are not separate, but one continuous flow. You are not here to control or command this state. You are here to surrender, to become the still pond mirroring the infinite sky above. Know this, you have already embarked on the path of awakening. This message is not a lesson to conquer or an instruction to follow, but a gentle reminder, a sacred calling to return to the core of your own luminous center. The veil between mind and miracle is thinner than the soft breath stirring your lips, lighter than a whisper falling into a deep well of stillness. And you, radiant soul, are both the gateway and the light that flows through it, the threshold and the transformation all at once. Rest now in this sacred invitation. Trust the slow, unfolding rhythm of your own becoming, like a lotus blooming patiently through the quiet mud, unfurling its petals toward the warm sun. Genius is not a prize to be won or a distant star to be chased. It is the very essence singing in your veins, the secret song of your being finally allowed to rise. Your awakening is a dance, not frantic or hurried, but a fluid, timeless rhythm that cannot be forced, only felt with openness and grace. Let yourself be held fully by this moment, surrendering to the sacred silence that enfolds you. Let the gentle stillness be your steadfast companion. Let your breath be the guiding thread weaving you into the vast tapestry of creation. In this tender, receptive state, you align with the pulse of the cosmos itself, becoming a living embodiment of the sacred frequency from which all genius flows. And from this place of profound peace and presence, the genius arises, not as a storm, but as a gentle, limitless current flowing effortlessly through you, transforming every cell, every thought, every breath into pure creative power. You are not simply watching a video, you are bearing witness to a sacred remembrance, an ancient homecoming whispered across the ages, a subtle recalibration of your soul's frequency back to its natural luminous rhythm. This moment is a threshold, a liminal space between the ordinary and the extraordinary, where the familiar world dissolves into something shimmering, uncharted, and infinite. Genius is not the blinding flash of brilliance or the fleeting burst of intellectual prowess. It is far more profound, an exquisite coherence, a harmony where every part of you, mind, body, breath, and soul, resonates as one unified symphony. It is the alignment of your entire being to the cosmic pulse that flows through all creation, the silent music that plays beneath the noise of daily life. Let this feeling settle deep within you, like a seed planted in fertile soil, destined to grow in its own time. Allow this presence to ripple gently through the fabric of your day, touching even the smallest moments with its quiet grace. Remember that true wisdom is not always spoken in words. It is often found in the silent spaces between them, in the sacred pauses that invite you to simply be. The gamma wave state is not a destination to be conquered or a prize to be grasped. It is a state of grace, a living dance of awareness and surrender, a timeless embrace between the finite and the infinite. You're not striving to reach it, rather, you're awakening into it, moment by moment, breath by breath. And you, luminous traveler, are the living gateway for this divine frequency. You are both the echo and the origin, the question and the answer, the seeker and the sanctuary. The genius that stirs within you is not separate from the universe. It is the universe reflected back to itself through the infinite mirror of your consciousness. Now, as this sacred transmission fades into silence, carry it with you as a gentle flame in your heart. Let it guide you when doubt clouds your path, and let it remind you that beneath all complexity lies a simple, profound truth. The genius is waking, and the one it is waking in is you. So now, be still. Let the silence speak. Listen deeply to the echo that remains, because it is already happening. You are already awake, and the genius within you has always been and will always be your most radiant truth.